Yes guys, Max here, back again with a brand new video, and today we're going to be discussing who could potentially be the new or next manager of Liverpool. Obviously we did a video the other day discussing the departure of Jurgen Klopp at the end of the season, and I'd said multiple times, I think you're probably bored of me saying it, I said I was going to do a video discussing different candidates and who could potentially take over as new manager. So today, here is that video. Just before we get into it, make sure to like, subscribe and leave a comment of who you think will be the next Liverpool manager. There's a few candidates on here. I've compiled quite a few of them and we're going to be ranking them out of 10 in terms of how likely they are to actually happen. Starting off with Xabi Alonso, the Bayer Leverkusen manager. They're currently sat top of the Bundesliga. He's outshining Bayern Munich, who seem to win it every season. But this year, Xabi Alonso has guided Bayer Leverkusen to top of the Bundesliga as things stand. Now, of course, he has got history with Liverpool, being a former player there. And obviously he's been heavily linked. He's probably the odds-on favourite at the minute to take over Jurgen Klopp. I mean, it would be an amazing appointment. He's got them sat top of the Bundesliga. That's a mental achievement. He's brought in some very key players. He sort of plays with these, like, the wing-backs with Frimpong and Grimaldo on either side. They play some really exciting football by Leverkusen. It's one of them teams that you just want to tune in and watch all the time just because of how they play. The certain players they have, they've got Wirtz coming through, a very good back line, Jonathan Tah, Kasunu, and who's the other one? Tapsoba, sorry. They're the back three that normally play a lot for Bayer Leverkusen. They've got Victor Boniface scoring loads of goals. They have got an insane team. And Xabi Alonso is doing wonders with it. Got him sat top of the Bundesliga. Probably going to win the Bundesliga, hopefully. I'd like to see that happen. But in terms of him becoming next Liverpool manager, I can see it happening. I think he can go out on a bang with Leverkusen winning the Bundesliga and then maybe potentially getting the Liverpool job. I always tipped him to be the next Real Madrid manager after Ancelotti, but now Jurgen Klopp's left. Obviously, no one really saw it happening. I've had to put him in this, and I think he is going to be the next Liverpool manager. He's the odds-on favourite, and for me, I've given him a 9 out of 10 rating. Moving on to the Brighton manager, Roberto De Zerbi. Now, he plays some amazing football. We know he's been linked to every single club in the Premier League at some point. United are always linked to him. Arsenal are. Tottenham were before they got Ange Postecoglou. City are when Pep leaves. So, it's mad. Roberto De Zerbi is the most sought-after Premier League manager, it seems. Again, coming in with this amazing brand of football into the Premier League. He was lined up when Brighton obviously let Graham Potter go to Chelsea. They already had De Zerbi lined up, which is obviously an amazing plus on Brighton's recruitment side. But De Zerbi, everyone thought, you know, they're going to struggle. Graham Potter's gone, De Zerbi's coming into Brighton. Everyone thought they were going to struggle, let's be real, me included. A manager who's managed in Italy and Shakhtar Donetsk, for example. I just didn't think he was cut out for the Premier League, but how wrong was I? It's clear why Liverpool wants him. He's the most sought-after Premier League manager, and for me, on the ranking scale, I've gone for a 7 out of 10. I can see it happening. I can see him taking that next step in his career in management, and surely he's not going to turn down the Liverpool job if it comes begging for him. Julian Nagelsmann, the current manager of the German national team, actually, as things stand. Obviously, he's going to take them into the Euros in his home country this summer. But I'm wondering if there's maybe like an agreement can be reached before the Euro starts, that Nagelsmann will leave Germany after the Euros. Maybe it might affect Germany's camp going into the Euros, and maybe that's not what will happen. But personally, I can see something like a little agreement being made that Nagelsmann will become the Liverpool manager after the Euros. We've seen it happen in international tournaments before. I remember Louis van Gaal became the United manager after the World Cup with Netherlands, so it can happen, and I think it's a similar situation to this. Nagelsmann's still a very young manager. Is he cut out for the Premier League? I'm not too sure yet, but it's a strong possibility. He's a strong candidate for the job, and I've given him a 7 out of 10. I genuinely think this is on par with De Zerbi. I think it really could happen. Now, Zinedine Zidane had to be included in this. Personally, I don't see it happening, but if he was to come to England, I think there's only 2 teams he would do it for, and that is Liverpool or Manchester City. Again, no one expected Jurgen Klopp to leave at the end of the season, so it's come as a real surprise. It's got people wondering what's going to happen, and Zinedine Zidane's been out of management for a very long time now. Had a fair few stints at Real Madrid, winning multiple Champions Leagues with them. He is probably the most sought-after manager. You see it when every big team sacks their manager or has got a vacant manager role available. It's always Zinedine Zidane, Zinedine Zidane, let's get Zinedine Zidane. At PSG, United have done it a few times, Chelsea have done it a few times, so I can really see Zinedine Zidane at some point coming to the Premier League. Apparently he doesn't speak amazing English, which is sort of putting him off a move to England. He needs to learn that, but he can do that. I mean, Bielsa came to Leeds and didn't speak a word of English for ages. He's a serial winner, Zinedine Zidane. Can I see him going to Liverpool? I put a 5 out of 10. It's one of them. It's a 50-50. I don't personally believe he will. A 6 out of 10 in this scale is probably average. Like, it could have a possibility of happening. A 5 out of 10 is sort of... It could happen, but probably not. Jose Mourinho is next up, and it's a bit fresh in my mind after his recent sacking at AS Roma. Another sacking on his illustrious career, but we know what Jose Mourinho can do. But is he past that point of returning to the Premier League? We'll have to see. I'm not sure if Liverpool is the job for him. Obviously, he used to manage United, used to manage Chelsea. I don't think the Chelsea-Liverpool thing is a big situation, but being a manager of United and then Liverpool, it's sort of, you know, I don't think he'll do that. But to be fair, I didn't think he'd manage Tottenham after he managed Chelsea a few times, so anything can happen in the world of football. Money talks, remember. Personally, I think he's waiting on a move to the Saudi League or maybe the Newcastle job. I think that's the only English club I can imagine him like taking over, sort of thing, if Eddie Howe goes. But yeah, personally, I don't think it's going to happen. What have I put it? I can't even remember what I've put. 1 out of 10. Yeah, that just shows you everything I've basically just said. I can't see it happening at all. Now, Graham Potter's been out of a job since his departure from Chelsea earlier on in the year. It was a complete failure, to be fair. He did wonders at Brighton, an absolutely wonderful job. And he's been out of a job since that Chelsea departure earlier on in the year. So, I can see him getting back into management, but is the Liverpool job a bit too much of a step up? I mean, he failed at Chelsea, let's be real. I don't think he can come into Liverpool, which is probably a bigger club than Chelsea, and sort of show anything that he didn't show at Chelsea, basically. So I've gone for a 6 out of 10. It's quite surprising because he's an English manager. He's waiting for a job in the Premier League. It could happen. But again, I think there's more candidates. I think there's 3 or 4 that are better suited for Liverpool than Graham Potter. But anything can happen. I think he is waiting for the next job in the Premier League whenever that comes. Now, here's an interesting one. Pep Lijnders, the current assistant coach under Jurgen Klopp. It also had been confirmed that he is going to be leaving, as well as some other coaching staff at Liverpool at the end of the season. But there's that sort of thing that makes you think, will he become the next Liverpool manager? And that's why he's in this list, obviously. But personally, I'm not too sure, quite frankly. I think it's going to be... The probabilities are going to be quite high because he knows the club. He's managed them a few times before when Klopp's been banned on the touchline. It's been sort of him orchestrating the deals and orchestrating the team on the touchline. He wants that next step in his career. He wants to become a manager for himself. Is starting at Liverpool a bit too much of a pedestal? Does he need to start a bit lower first? Probably. Because of his Liverpool links, I've had to put him quite high. I put 5 out of 10 for Pep Lijnders. I think it is a possibility. Maybe not straight after Jurgen Klopp leaves, but I can see a situation where somebody comes in, fails at Liverpool, and then they get Pep Lijnders in maybe for the end of the season. He does well and then gets a new contract. Sort of like an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer situation at Manchester United. Finally, Steven Gerrard. Of course he had to be in this. He was always the man that was tipped to be the next Liverpool manager after Jurgen Klopp. And to be fair, I think it's a massive possibility. I can see a similar situation in when Chelsea appointed Lampard from Derby to manage Chelsea, one of the biggest clubs in England. That was a mad appointment and it nearly worked out, but he just wasn't cut out for it. And I think it could be a similar situation to Gerrard, but we've seen him fail at Aston Villa already in the Premier League, so is that appointment worth it? Currently managing in Saudi Arabia. He's not doing too well over there, really, but he has signed a new deal there. And even though he signed a new deal, I think if Liverpool come calling, he is no way turning that down. I can't see that happening. And for that reason, Liverpool legend, biggest legend ever probably, I've given him a 7 out of 10. I think it could really happen, genuinely. That is it. What do you make of my little rankings out of 10? Do you agree? What would you say? Who do you think will be the new manager more importantly? For me, I think all signs are leading to Xabi Alonso, aren't they? That about wraps it up. I'll see you all in the next one.